everybody and welcome on today's video. Today I'm going to do some trimming, pruning on this fusion field maple composition. It's a whole lot of trees on a rock and well, planted over a rock, and I added a few trees a few weeks ago, maybe, well, something more than a month, and it's been growing really well. Not everything is growing as I hoped it would. Some of the young trees did not make it, but okay, that's what you have when you do a fusion. There's quite a lot to do today. I have some biting in of wire, so I need to remove that wire. I have some trimming to do. I noticed that I have a few scale insects on the back, so I have to deal with that too. So let's come in a little closer and see what should be done. So the first thing that I noticed is that on this main trunk the wire seems to be cutting in. So that's of course something, if you see that you have to deal with as soon as possible, because well, that's not gonna get better. And yeah, going to try to grab the wire here, which is not easy when you have a whole lot of growth. Yeah, and I don't see where the wire is starting and ending. Oh, here it is. Yeah, so I grab the extremity, and then if I can make a first turn, I'll probably get a good grip. Now the question always is, do I unwire this or do I cut the wire away? And there's no answer to that question. If you really want to reuse your wire, you should unwind it. Most of the time your wire can be reused, but of course if you are damaging your tree by unwiring it, that's stupid. Then you'd better get your wire cutters. But in this case, I can just take it off. That looks good. Okay. There's just a little piece here, like so. So that's done. Well, there is some scarring, definitely. A little bit here, but not too much. So now that I'm working on this top tree, I'm going to reduce it. Think that this is getting a little heavy, so I'll reduce that top completely. And there's a branch in the back and a little branch right under it, and I'm going to keep the small one. So that clears out the top, like that. From that same top I have two branches here. These are bar branches, so they are not desirable. And there's one growing at the outside and one in the inside of this curve here. So I'll remove that one. This one's okay, just going to reduce it a little. Still going right down. This is a nice branch. It's part of a fusion tree, and it's doing okay. I think it's almost thick enough, so I'm going to cut it back here. Always leave quite a portion for dieback on maples. And then we have also a fusion branch here, which I always also will reduce. And there's the little dead stub. You see the dieback here? So now I can remove that little stub. Okay, and then the rest is not very clear what's going on because of all the leaves. So I think that's good. Now for this main trunk, on the back we have quite a lot of stuff going on with one of the new fusion trees. So that's one of the new fusion trees, so that's quite a whole lot. So I'm going to remove the things growing straight up, and then try to start some ramification like so. On this main trunk I have this branch here that I never liked. It's always been too thick, and I always hope to have some new growth here, and I have a little portion of growth here, so I think I'm just going to get rid of this gigantic thing here, and maybe I'll get some extra budding. Certainly hope so. But oh, it's okay, because I have this little one here that will probably help me out. Then I have this one, which is a new one, but I don't think he made it, so that's not good. But I have the other one right behind it, this one. So this one I'm going to reduce, and this one looks dead, so there's no use keeping that. Yeah, there's no green on it. Okay, so that clears up the main tree from the front, and this is the back of the tree, and of course I need to do some trimming here also on this new tree. And I think that's it for the moment. So let's focus on this little tree here. Sadly, I planted a tree here, it did not make it, but okay, I can still do something. But this is some, well, I don't know how to explain that, some side parts, and I want it to open up more, so I'm going to reduce everything here. I also like to have that part going in that direction, so I'm not going to let this extend too much. Maybe let the top grow a little more, and the sides, well, let's reduce them. So I think that I have everything on this tree now. So that looks good. Okay, this is alive too, yeah. So that's okay. Now this tree on the other side, I like it a lot. It's doing great. Just going to remove some dead stumps here. I don't think I need to do any trimming. It's doing fine. So maybe that little branch on the back here, well, I don't know, it's not doing any harm. It's thickening up this trunk. So, and now the problem area is the back, because there's a whole lot of leaves and it's very difficult to see what's going on. And I have scale insects here. See them? Man, these nasty animals. So I'm going to remove them with my tweezers. And then I'll spray this with some insecticide, because these little guys, well, they are always trying to get all the sap out of your trees, and that's not nice. I mean, there's a whole lot of trees outside, so why on my tree? So I have to keep a close eye on this to see that this is not getting out of hand. But if you are lucky to see it in an early stage, well, most of the time you can do something about that. But I see now that they are on different trees, so definitely I'm going to have to spray this. Yeah. You really want to do that because it's slowing down everything. It might even kill some of the trees. Nasty. Okay. I'll do the trimming and then maybe I get a better vision. So, I have a little tree growing here out of the soil. I don't know why. And then, well, of course I'm going to need some stuff in the back here. So this is the back. But not that big. But on the other hand, a branch like this is a branch that you can include in between the trees and the rock, and then it grows and it swells and it gives you the possibility to close these gaps. So a few of these I'm going to keep. Now, this is supposed to become a back branch, so what's growing to the inside I will not keep. So I can remove that. And I think I can remove this one also. I'm going to reduce this. And since I have different branches on this trunk, I'll only keep one or two, so I'll remove that one. It's just to open it up. Also, scale insects, they don't like direct sunlight, they like to hide in the shade. So the more you have inside your sunlight getting inside your tree, the less problems you'll have with scale and all kinds of little bugs. So I'm just cleaning this out a little in order to see a little more of these trunks, roots. Here again, there's way too much growing. Now this branch is interesting, but I'd like to shorten it just a little so that it creates more depth. Same here. I don't really need all these high branches in this place. And this one, I'm not sure. I think, well, I'm going to reduce it. There's two healthy buds here. There's one here and one here. So if they open up, I have two pieces of new growth that I can include in between the trees and the rock. So now I have a better visual on what's going on at the back, and I'm going to reduce every little tip that I find here. And I think that's gonna be it for this tree. Quite pleased with this. I need to spray it, of course. I just think that this is still a little bit too heavy. So, like that. Now it's very difficult to see what's going on exactly. It will be a whole lot clearer when these trees are losing their leaves. And then I know what to do. Okay, so that's it for this one. Maybe just this. And probably when I put it back on the benches, I will find that I need to do some more trimming, which is always the case. And then I'll do that, of course. I have another little field maple that I never showed, so I'm going to get that one and we can see what we can do about that one. So I'll be right back. So this is also a little field maple that I had growing in a big pot, and I'm going to get rid of some of the weeds that are growing in it, but since there are only 5 of them, it's really not big of a deal. But I like to keep my pots clean, and it's really a nice little tree. I completely forgot that I was working on that. And yeah, I think it is time now to do some trimming in the top, because the top is going to get very heavy. So I'm just going to do a few snips. Then I also have a few branches, like here. I have 3 branches emerging from the same spot, which is never something that you want. So I'll remove a few. This I can wire out, no doubt, so I don't think that I'm going to need that one here. So that clears this area up. Okay. Then I have a little branch here in the back, which I'm going to keep. This one I don't think is very interesting, so I'll reduce that. And here I have already a nice interesting branch that is starting to become very long, so I'm going to get rid of that. And there's the branch that I'm not sure, it's growing inside this curve, and I have this one which is better, so probably I can remove that. Here I have 2 branches growing in the back. Now one of these 2 will have to go, but they're still very small, so maybe one of these 2 is not going to make it, and therefore I think it's wise to keep them both. Yeah. So what's this? Is this a scale? Yes, it is. So I also need to spray that. Yeah. Scale festival has begun. Yeah. Okay, so I still think that this top is a little heavy, so I'll reduce this even more. Because when it starts to get congested, it starts to thicken and you lose the taper. So, still too much here. I think that clears up the front. Maybe I have to choose a new top, and I can do that by removing this. Now I have a branch growing down. Don't like that, don't like that. This one is on the side, so that's good. Like so. And that should do. That's a good branch. There's a small one right behind it here. Not sure, do I have back branching here? Yes, so don't need that. And I'll remove the little one here. Like so. Let me see. I can clean up this wound here just a little, hollow it out, and that will heal much better. So just a little bit of cut paste. Little bit. I like this cut paste because it has the same color as the bark. Like so. Okay. Come on, man. Okay. So that's good. And I think I'm done. But I'd love to see the roots. So let's zoom in on the roots. I have no idea how these roots look. So this is going to be there's new roots growing, so it's really not a good idea to remove all this moss, but just a quick peek. Oh yeah, there's some mature roots. Is that a rock? Yeah, it's a sandstone. All right, now this is going to be very nice. Okay, so I'm going to put it back. Yeah. And give this a good watering. And that concludes the work on my 2 field maples, which I like a lot, I must say. So well, yeah, that's basically it. Do all the YouTube stuff. So thank you for watching and see you next time.